Yes, yes, yes. We are now live, and I'm welcoming you all to the second conversation on business talk with the Sompon TV, and your host today is Vera Sompon. Today, we are going to be having a very, very interesting conversation with diverse people, and be very sure that you do not want to miss any moment of our conversations today. If you're online now, you can just share the video. You can share the link to your friends and to your families. Invite all of your friends so we can have a good conversation today. And you're free to ask all your questions today. And with me today, my co host is going to be, of course, Elvis Bolifor. He is my co host today and of the program, The Business Talk and Business Conversation. He has been the jury for the business masterclass and the startup fund from the very beginning. So I welcome you, Elvis. Thank you again for being here today.
Thank
So
you,
how are
ma'am.
you, Elvis?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be online again today with you. And I
It's
hope this
always a
will,
pleasure to see you.
thank you so much. It's going to be an interesting day. And we hope that all those who will be joining us will take home something this evening.
I'm very I'm very convinced about this. I'm very, very convinced, especially as today we want to really dive into a holistic approach of business. What is business in an holistic approach, in a holistic manner? Because I have the impression that many a times people get to confuse an employee, a self-employed, with a business person, and of course an entrepreneur. So we see everybody is one talking about being an entrepreneur, and I'm always confused why. Because if we all are saying we are an entrepreneur, I hear people say they are mompreneur. I hear people say they give all sorts of preneurs, right? Which is a good thing. I think it's a good thing that we stay on that positive mood. But I still always get to ask myself the question, but if an entrepreneur is an investor, then I guess that these people must have had their businesses running and now they are investing, right? So
Exactly.
I'm curious about the conversation today, and I really want to welcome to our winners of last year. We had two people last year who won. We had three persons, and
Three. Yeah. We're
yes,
inviting just two today.
we're inviting two who are partners also today. That's an
Mm.
amazing part of it. They are partners and they had an online business. I think they themselves they're going to talk about their business. And so let me welcome Barry Saylor and Jill from Jace Auto.
Just Otto.
Jace Auto. So you're all welcome, gentlemen. It's like today I'm the only woman today, and let's see how it goes.
We don't have gender problems. It's going to be okay.
Hello, good evening to you out there. It's a
Good
privilege to meet
evening.
with you today
The pleasure
for
is
this
ours
wonderful
too.
event.
Thank
Good
you,
evening,
Jill.
everyone.
Thank you for joining us.
Someone is listening to to this thing and it's playing back. So please, if you are, then just put it down because it's playing back. Are you hearing it? There's a double
Yes, I'm
echo.
getting a
Yeah.
double echo.
Yeah,
Okay.
Now it's better.
it's
All
perfectly
right.
Okay.
fine.
Gentlemen,
Thank you.
you're all welcome. I can see Honore Banam, and Honore, you're welcome. And he says, "Hello, evening, madam. Happy to be part of this today. I'm so happy, Honore, that you're part of us today. How are you, Honore? Just send us a message how you are doing. So, Elvis, you're going to co-host today, so I'm giving you
Yeah,
the microphone.
thanks
It's
so much.
your
I
turn.
want to welcome very heartily Jill and Gatson, who are with us today, the happy winners of the Sompon Business Masterclass of last year. I want to say that we are honored to have you, and you are really going to be, a resource or resource persons for this program today. Jill and Barry, are you getting me?
Of course, we are getting you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay,
We are honored to be here.
before I come to you, I want the host, Madame Sompon, to throw some light on why this program, Sompon Master Business Class, why was this program, developed, and why the birth of this program. If she can throw some light, then we are going to dive very, very fast with our guests who are there and anxious to edify the public and equally share their joy, what they went through as the winners of last year. Madam Sompon, can you throw some light on why you decided to develop this program, Master Business Class, which of course is aimed at revamping and helping our youths here in Africa and even worldwide to do something for themselves that can be give more light to your business, throw more light, strengthen their businesses and make them work very, very well. Madam, are you with us?
Of course, I'm here and I'm listening
Okay,
very well.
good,
Thank you so
good.
much.
You're welcome.
Um, I think that it goes right back to 2015 when we had a lot of migrants or refugees come from the African continent, and we had many young people dying in the sea. And I kept wondering within me, what happened? And with my organization, the Sompon Social Service, we offer the possibilities for volunteers to come to Germany to work with us and then go back home. And this time it became very difficult to get our young people to come and do the volunteer work with us here. So I had to find another possibility to be able to help our young people in Cameroon or in Africa, but precisely in Cameroon. And in Cameroon, because of course, one says that charity begins at home, and it's always easy to start where you were born and where you know the place. So, um, back to the question, what motivated me? I noticed that many people really want to do business. I know many people want to do something, and but how to get there was always a target, a big trouble. And so many people always spoke about the finance is a problem. So I came up with the master's class, the business master's class, which is an intensive 1 week program to offer the people the tools, especially the young people, the tools that they need, the instrument that they need to be able to start up a business or again be self-employed. Because when we talk about having a business, the one should have gone through the process of having maybe a profession, was maybe self-employed, and then now want to build up a business, produce something a little bigger, right? and
Sure.
um, and that's why we need an investor to come in and to invest, which is an entrepreneur. And so I thought that it was going to be good to give a combination of the knowledge that they should have, and also on the other side, give the fun as an entrepreneur. So the combination of knowledge and finances make this program a special and unique program, I think, in the entire continent, especially because it comes from an African diaspora and it is for the Africans based in Africa with the sole intention to be able to achieve the Agenda 2063. And of course, in this light, I see business in a more holistic way that engulfs or takes all round approach. Now, so my interest was really to help young Africans to come up with their own businesses, invest in some of the businesses, be shareholders, be partners with them with the intention of developing the continent.
Thanks so much for that enlightenment. I take home holistic. You talk of holistic business, and if I should go back to my own domain, I think it's looking at business as a whole and not just jumping into a part of business and think you're a businessman. And I equally take home charity begins at home. I must say I hail you so much for thinking of starting back home. And like you say, the Agenda 2063, you're already doing your own part. And I think we really have to follow in your footsteps so that the Africa will actually be the Africa we expect to be in 2063. Thank you so much for that enlightenment. I think
You're
it
very welcome.
goes further again to make the viewers and all those who are listening to us to be more interested to know that this program is a program that is not just aiming at tomorrow, but looking far, far ahead in the future. Wanting to make Africa a place to be can only be a dream for all Cameroonians and Africans. Thank you so much.
You're
I will
welcome.
be going on with my guests. I have Jill and Gatien. I must say I'm very happy to have you people with us this evening. I can still see the
Thank you.
smiles glowing from your faces, just like we had on the day that you had your prizes awarded to you during the last Sompon Master class. This afternoon, I want to ask some few questions to Jill and Gatsen. I hope I'm getting the names correctly. And
Yeah.
my question, the first question I have goes to Gatien. What do you understand or what comes in your mind actually when you hear someone talk of business? What actually comes in mind, Gatien?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Elvis, our co-host. Like you said, I'm Katien. I mostly go by the names Berry Seller. So sometimes people get confused with that. I'm the CEO of Jais Auto, an online marketplace for cars, spare parts, and accessories. So to go straight to your question, when you talk about what is a business can be a business is actually an activity that someone carries in order to get something. So it cannot just be money. It might be in exchange for other things, but it's a business. Also, a business is an entity which comprises the activity and the people in it. So when you talk about a business, you can look either at just the activity, or you look in total at the activity and the people that run the activities. So whatever the case, these people come together to make sure that they carry out an activity for which they are going to obtain something in exchange. This thing can be money, it can be other goods, it can be a service, whatever the case. So that is it.
Thank you so much. I really want to thank you for that explanation. Because when we talk of business, many people think just of selling items, whereas services too is actually business. Thank you so much. Uh, what do you think about your Jais Auto? Do you think the program is a sustainable one?
Okay, thank you again. When we talk about sustainable, we mean something that is long lasting. So, for a program or whatever, a business or something to be long lasting, he has to look at the questions or at the problems of the future and be able to answer them even before they are raised. And very well, to be very candid, the turn that the world is taking around now is that of technology. So even if you are a farmer and you don't see a way to integrate technology into your activity or into your business, you are going to be left behind. So when a business involves technology, just as in the nutshell, it's already being answering the question of sustainability at least. Now you have to add more value to your business in order to make it more sustainable out there. Our business, of course, is sustainable, and that is one reason I really believe that we made us win this masterclass. Sustainability. Why are we sustainable? We are sustainable because we have answered the question of how people are going to be looking for their car parts and accessories in a few years to come, even if they are not really doing that now. The Africa and Cameroon in particular, it's slowly turning towards the online businesses or online shopping. It's true that it is slow, and we still need to inspire a lot of confidence in the people, but already based on the data we have been analyzing, the people, the customers and the clients we've had, the exchanges we've made with people, we know already that they are taking a turn. And even if there are few of them, they are gradually increasing. So we have answered this question of knowing of how they are going to be able to purchase their spare parts, car parts, and accessories in the future. Secondly, cars today, even though they are the most recent cars, they are not yet already here, but they are able to search for their parts in online stores and identify and tell their owner that this is where you can find this part when it's at fault. So you see, the cars need these shops to exist in order to be able to search through Google or any search engine and find them and indicate to the seller, like, this part, the water pump, for example, is getting bad. This is where you can find it, a shop close to you. By giving by putting an online business in place, we are already giving a place, or we're already making sure that there is somewhere that these cars can actually search. So Cameroon is not going to be left behind when these cars come here. In a few years to come, it can be 5 years, 10 years, but whatever the case, when they come, we are not going to have a problem of a car not being able to find a part around here and you have to import your parts from abroad. So you see, we are looking really at the future. We are not just focused at the way people are doing it now. If you want to look at just now, we're going to say, well, people go to Kanyabasi in Douala and they know where to get their parts and so on and so forth. No, we are looking at the future. So really, our business, we believe, is very, very sustainable.
Thank you so much. In a nutshell, you're bringing Kangyabasi and Vogada closer to the customers. You don't need to go long distances to be able to get your spare parts. That's really, really plausible. My second question will go to Jill. Jill, are you on? Jill, can you get me?
I'm getting you, Mr.
Okay, my second question goes to you.
I'm
What
getting you, Mr. Elvis.
motivated
Can you
you?
get
What motivated
me?
you to attend the Masterclass, Sompon Masterclass 2019? What were your motivations to attend this class 2019?
You know, we were young people looking to get into the world of entrepreneurship, but it was not sufficient just to have the ideas. So we needed
Jill,
someone
can
that
you
would motivate
get your microphone
us
closer to your mouth? You're not
and
getting
someone
you
that could train
clearly.
us. Are you getting me clearly, sir?
It's better now.
First, too fast.
All right, all right. Like I was saying, as young entrepreneurs that we wanted to become, it was not only sufficient having the idea to become an entrepreneur, but we needed somewhere that we could be trained, developed, and somewhere that could train us in such a way that our idea could become sustainable for the future. So we came in contact with the program of the Sompon Business Masterclass. On the program, we saw a lot of interesting courses that were to take place and wonderful coaches. Are you getting me, Mr. Elvis?
I'm getting you.
Yeah, the program had both great coaches like Dr. Thierry Nyamen and others who were to be there to teach us on how to start small and become big. There were other programs out there to help entrepreneurs, but this was the only program that really teach us in starting small and going big and developing us personally so that we could be able to handle the business properly and build a sustainable business for a sustainable Africa that we want, according to Agenda 63 of the African Union. In a kingdom way, the Sompon Business Masterclass does not only teach people on how to do business like a layman, but bring business with principles. We saw this on their agenda, how to do business honestly, in a leadership manner, how to help others while doing business, and being transparent while doing business was what was on the program of the Sompon Business Masterclass, which helped us to get into contact with this business, with this program.
I think Gilles is having a challenge with his I think Gilles is having a challenge with his connection and
Yeah,
also with his microphone.
microphone.
So here the microphone is really a problem. The
Mm.
quality of the his conversation was not really audible.
Really
It's
audible.
very difficult. Maybe uh, Barry can answer that question if this.
Barry, can you
Okay.
throw some
Uh,
light if you can?
yeah, okay. Just to continue from what he was saying, he said, as he was well, it's what as he was saying, it's what motivated us first of all was the content of the program. You know, when we this program came up, we were at the development phase of our project. So we had the idea, we had conceived it, we had developed it to about 80%. So when this program came up, we saw the agenda, we looked at the content of the program, and we are very motivated by the quality of the content. We saw the host that we are going to be there, the guests that are going to be there, the speakers at the event. We saw the content, that means what they were going to talk about, the things we are going to gain, and of course, we saw that we could be able to start our business. Like there was fund, there was a startup fund which could enable us to start our business, which was even if it was still in the conception, even was still in the development phase. And even for businesses that were in the conception phase, it's not something you see every day. So it was really a motivation for us to do business, to attend this business masterclass. Also, the most amazing part of the content was, we are coming up as young entrepreneurs, but and we had our own ideas and uh, experiences from that we gathered maybe from people and others, but the one that was proposed about by the Sompon Business Masterclass was much more in line with something. We discovered something we needed that we did not even know that we had need for. So we looked at the kingdom way of doing business, which involves self-development, accountability, uh, helping people. So when we get into business, do business should not just be about making profits, but also about helping people. So this also came to all this really came also to strengthen and really motivate us to to want to attend the masterclass 2019.
Okay, thank you so much. I think a take home message from what you said on that question. If I go back to Jill, he talked of doing business honestly. That's the kingdom way. You should not do business just seeking to dupe people around. And equally, your business should have some qualities of leadership. And equally, I think what pulled you through all along was teamwork. And equally, you say you were motivated by the content of the program. That's the different topics that were being handled during the Sompon masterclass. And I think Sompon aims at training, connecting, exposing the learners or the trainees, as well as sponsoring their projects. Thank you so much for throwing more light on what motivated you to join the Sompon Masterclass 2019. We continue, except you have some worries. If no worry, then we go to the third question. The third question anybody can take, depending on if connection, permits, because we have challenges with connection here. We are in Africa. We want to make Africa to be a better Africa by 2063, and we are still really having problems with connection. So my third question, Jill and Gatien, can you tell us a little bit about your project and why you think it won the Startup Funds 2019? What was the plus? Because I remember we had many projects that were presented, but your project came out to be an outstanding one. What do you think was that thing that you added to your program that made it to win the Sompon Startup Funds 2019?
Okay. About the project, our project is let me say it was because now it's implemented. A an online platform, which means a website that can be accessible through phones, computers, etc., or smart devices, which to sell, to buy and sell cars, spare parts and accessories. So it is a multi-vendor platform, which means users, anybody that sells car parts can come there and post their car parts for sale, and then we fulfill the order when there's an order, and then give their money to them. So we know very well that there are a lot of scams and order happening now. So we try to make sure that every order is fulfilled by us, and not it's not just a platform where anybody can meet anybody and maybe run into trouble. So that was the concept. That was our project. In simple terms, a website to buy and sell car parts and accessories. Now, our website is available. Of course, it's at jaisauto.com. So if you JISEAUTO.com, or you just search Google for Jais Auto, you will have so many resources about that. You have all the information. It's bilingual. It's in English and French. You can install it in your phone. It's very, very easy to use. What made us, or what we know made our project stand out, first of all, was the link, first of all, that this program had with the agenda of the Sompon Business Masterclass. We made sure we fulfill the requirements of the Sompon Business Masterclass. So our project, first of all, it's a sustainable one, just like I explained, and how a sustainable the project is. So this made our project really stand out. Our project, the Sompon Business Masterclass, also values partnership. So the fact that there were two of us and partners, and with the assurance that we gave that no matter what happens, our business comes first before our personal problems or whatever. It made also was also some motivation. Was also, I believe, is one also a strong point that made us to win this program. Also, honesty and everything, and the other factors that are the Sompon Masterclass really holds dear. But most essentially, your business should be sustainable. You should be a trustworthy person, because you don't just give money to people to do a business and without being sure of these people are going to do business. So within that 1 week, you have to, at least, there's a lot of observation that go through. You have to show you have to, even if you try to hide your real self, they're going to fish you out. They're going to know who is here to really do for the money, who is here to who really wants to do business and needs the money. So these are the points, the way we comported ourselves, the way we presented our idea, and the assurance that we gave. I mean, the passion that we could reveal for our business. I believe it's one of the main things that made us really win this masterclass, and also notwithstanding the fact that our business really falls in line with the Agenda 2063 of the African Union. When you look especially at the seed point, which talks about in Africa, the developing Africa, and whose growth is based on Africans, which means we are developing our talents here in order to develop Africa. We are not importing talents from everywhere. So I think the jury was also amazed to see that our young Africans can sit here and develop such an idea. I mean, it's things that people could not imagine at first. So those are some of the points that I really think that made us in the 2019 edition of the Sompon Business Masterclass.
Thank you so much. You're really a motivation to many out there. And I hope all that are listening are getting you very well and seeing the plus that you guys added in the business. If I must go through what you said to throw some light, I think you gave us already jaisauto.com. We can find that on Google. And equally, you talked of the attributes that had to be looked into during the classes. You said even if you try hiding yourself, that you'll still be fished out. It means that there were some people who were there just for the money and not actually for business. Whereas Jais Auto was there, their comportments were taken into consideration. The content even of their program was equally judged, and they were in line with the Agenda 2063. And this was a homemade product. I think those are the attributes that added more ligaments and tendons to your program and made you guys so outstanding. Thank you so much for giving and throwing more light on that particular question on motivation, which equally is a backbone for business. You must get into business with much motivation, which is a pulling force or a pushing force that takes you around the difficult moments, and it equally goes to explain the sustainability and survival of a project like yours. Thank you so much. Another question here. Uh, can you tell us how much you received from the CEO of Sompon for your project as winners of 2019 Sompon Masterclass? People may want to know, maybe in euros if possible, so that they actually know that this money was given to you. Because sometimes when we say it's going to be a program sponsored at the end of the day, people are saying, that is how Cameroon is. They will come up with some sweet talks, and at the end of the day, nothing is done. The nobody is accountable. But I want to tell you that Sompon master classes or anything that has to do with Sompon social service is sustainable and long lasting, of course. And I want people to answer that question so that we really assure those who are thinking of coming up, they are not convinced that this project is actually a true project. Jill, I see you. You have something to say.
Hello, Mr. Bonico, are you getting me now?
Your line is really broken.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay. All right. I will take that question. That question was for G. Okay.
For Jill,
So
yeah.
the all right. Like you were saying, it's really good to precise when it comes to these programs because people sometimes when they hear this, they think that they are not really good programs. So maybe they're just doing something in order to convince people to come and uh,
Give
and tell
money
people
or
that
register. Yeah.
exactly give money register of course because they are paying again, so it makes people to think that this is just a program that is just there to get people's money. No, of course this Sompon Business Masterclass is a very reliable program and they fulfill what they said. The amount we receive in from the Sompon Business Masterclass was 2,780 euros, something about that. So you can do the conversion to France CFA for those who are uh, those who want to do that. And then to be very to precise, I also want to precise here that it's very difficult. I mean, it's not every day that you see a program that will give you something like this, especially a one that is done again by a Cameroonian or someone like that in the diaspora. It's not every day you get to see that. So it's really, we remain ever grateful to the Sompon Social Service and Madam Vera Sompon, the CEO in particular, for this. It has really been, without that, I would not be where we are today here. It was something that we really needed in order to boost our business. Online businesses, unlike what people think, are not just, you don't just make a website and have it stand there and people find it. You have to invest time, you have to invest resources, buy do advertisement, even fulfill orders. There's logistics involved and order, and in order to start, you really need money in order to do that. And we can assure you too also Jaisoto is very reliable. Why is it reliable? We fulfill the orders ourselves and you pay only when you have received your order. So when you need an order, when you place an order, we deliver it to a pickup store close to you. When you get there, you look at your order. If you like it, you pay. If you don't like it, you leave it. We handle the logistics and everything, but we know that it's a problem of scamming and all that. So you never ever pay before you have actually seen your product and analyzed it, and we don't charge you for any transportation. It's only when you are satisfied that we give you your product and you pay.
I am sure some people are hearing as if it's witchcraft that a homemade program like this one can have such beautiful services. Because in most of the online businesses that we have, you always have to send transportation, and if the goods come and you don't want, you pay for the inconveniences and the damages caused along the line. So you see some point social service, some point masterclass, and the startup funds. It's not there to dupe anybody, but is there to help young Cameroonians like you. I am happy you accepted to be guest on the program today to make this program really, substantial, and to tell people equally who are out there and doubting that this program is a program to be, and we're encouraging all those who are listening and have businesses around. We may talk of businesses and they always think is selling and buying. We equally encourage programs like farming. Some people do rearing and they will not know it's a project that can equally be brought up. You have even other small petty things around that you can develop that is going to help the immediate surrounding or the people who are around and equally ensure sustainability, ensure a long-lasting existence of this program. That at the end of the day, the environment is not destroyed, health of the people is not, put at the peril, and we can equally, the program can stand the test of time. Maybe if it's suffering from some problems, we are sure that it is going to get back on its toes. So that is what Sompon aims at. And I must say, I continue to say, I hail Madame Vera Sompon, that in her own little way, she's already affecting the Cameroonian youth, and we call it those in the diaspora, to do something back home that can put the youth on the rails and make them stop the blame game. I remember when she says this, I always know where she's coming from. Thank you so much for being with us. I see her smiling. Surely she has something for us. Ma'am
No,
Vera.
I'm here. I'm back. I'm here. I'm just. There's a question. I think there's a question for a gentleman. How long are you doing this? How long are you doing it? I guess it's about your Jais Auto. And the question is from Cedric Desire. No people. Cedric, you're welcome. Cedric also, I think I know Cedric personally. He's also a mechanician, or at least is doing in that area of work, and maybe that's why he's interested to know how long are you doing this.
Okay, Cedric, thank you for your question. When you say how long are you doing it, I don't really get it. If you mean how long we are doing the program or how long our business, of course, it has to run for as long as it can. If you mean how long we take to deliver, I don't know. Maybe then it's in 1 to 3 business days, depending on the product location and on your location. If it's in Douala and the product's in Douala, we can have same day delivery. So I'm just trying to answer the question broadly because I don't know exactly what you meant by how long are you doing it. I hope I touched one of the areas you intended to answer.
I think
Thank you.
he wants to know how long is Jai's Auto program going to last? What is the lifespan of Jai's Auto, not the day of delivery, if I get him correctly? What is
No,
the
like I
lifespan?
said,
When are people intending to stop? How long or how far do you intend going? I think that is the line in which he's asking the question.
no, there is no stopping us. If there's anything we are going to do, we are going to add more value to our business and grow it as much as it can. I'm not sure any business starts with the intention of stopping someday. Then why would there be a question of sustainability? Sustainability comes in to make your business to last, to stand the test of time and not to stop it. So, Cedric, we just keep going forward. We have so much in mind and so much to add, but we cannot start all of that at once. We are going to start with this, and in the future, you're going to see that we are going to add more value, more services, more products, and so on. So the business will keep growing.
Thank you so much, Gatien. I call you Gatien. I'm sorry for that, but I think you say people know you as Barry, but I know you as Gatien, and that's okay. That's my privilege, right? Okay. Thank you so much, Gatien, and thank you that you're here. We continue the conversation, but my question is now with the co-host with Elvis. Thank you, Elvis, that you're taking the time to share this platform with me. My question to you is, you have been in the jury for the past 3 years that we have been offering the startup fund as well as the master's class. And what has been for you the criteria to be able to select the winners? That would be the very first question. What has been the criteria? And what would you say? What's the difference between being self-employed, a business guy, and an entrepreneur?
Thank you so much for that question or those questions. I will certainly begin from the second one so that we throw some light on the differences that exist between being an employee, a self-employed, an entrepreneur, a business person. I love to say business person because we say businessman. gender is violated there. Women think that they are not considered in the business. I want to think simply. I will put it very simple so that everybody will get a grasp of what we are talking about. I want to talk of an employee. That is somebody who is paid or who gets paid to work for a person or a company. And workers do not need to actually be full time before they are considered as employee. Just maybe 2 3 hours working for somebody who pays you, and that person from to whom you're working is your employer. So you're a boss, you're a big man, as they call it in local parlance, while you are the employee, the one who is rendering the service for a wage or a salary, if I may put it that way. And that should be for employee. And then for self-employed, it speaks for itself. uh, State of working for oneself. And I was taking the example of somebody who is working in a bakery. You work in a bakery, you are an employee in a bakery, and the person owning the bakery is your employer. And for one reason or the other, you are laid off your duties. Maybe you are a patissier, as they call it. You make bread, cakes, and all of that, puff puff in the bakery. And one day you're rendered redundant. You're sent off for maybe work leave or something, and you decide that no, you have to develop something for yourself, and you pick up frying beignet or puff puff by the roadside. You are the boss for yourself. You are answerable to what you do. You are a self-employed person. You are self-reliant, and your activities are not answerable. Nobody questions you why this dough was not good or why this happened. Maybe your customers will have to question that. So self-employed is somebody who is independent and pursues an economic activity, maybe as opposed to earning a living for his or herself. And for a businessman, that I would like to call business person, like I said already, this is someone who is involved in the business sector, particularly someone undertaking an activity for the sole purpose of generating cash flow, sales and revenue or profit. Because a businessman or business person works on already developed ideas by others, and he gets into business, and his sole reason for getting into that business is to make some profit. Nobody gets into business to incur losses. So that is a businessman. You decide what business you want to take, maybe selling of shoes. And equally, the sole employed is equally a businessman because he gets into a particular type of business. And the last, if I am not forgetting, is an entrepreneur. I think I'll simply put that an entrepreneur is a market leader. He develops a business or a market which is unique to him. It means that he has a brand name which is unique to him. And you discover that today entrepreneurs has become almost synonymous to business owners. But the reality can be different. When we talk of an entrepreneur, it must be somebody who has gone through the employee state. He has been maybe self-employed and is now, sponsoring or financing a project or a business. And that is why he is the one who bears the risk, because he has to study and develop a particular idea which is unique to him. And that, at the end of the day, he comes out with a powerful business. And sometimes they suffer less competition because they are unique to themselves, and nobody, has to fight around with them because they have their brand, which is just theirs. I think I struggled to throw some light on the differences that exist. So there are so many confusions, and some people who are just business people think that they are entrepreneurs. No, an entrepreneur should be somebody who has, a background knowledge of all what happens as an employee, a self-employed person, a business person, and now he comes back to be somebody owning a business of his own and equally working with other people. And he's the one, whatever happens, he is the one who is answerable to all of these problems that can happen. And I think there was one question on the criteria, I suppose, criteria that we use to select the winners of our different sessions. We have had 2 successful sessions so far. When I saw Gatsien's smile, I remember the questions I posed, and when he answered so confidently during the last program, I knew I could go for Jais Auto. And today the guys are doing well in the market. And one of the things that we base on, particularly, we talk of sustainability. I think that is our watchword, sustainability. The business should be able to meet the economic standards. It should be able to meet the social as well as environmental. That is, we are seeking to satisfy needs, our needs of today, but not compromising equally our next generations that are going to come. We should base in mind that whatever we are doing, the resources that we are using should not be the type that we get into the resources and exhaust everything. Those who are coming after us should be able to equally still benefit from these resources. And we must not be that type that we want to pollute because we are producing today. We want to just pollute the environment, and we should take care of the environment equally. So these should establish a linkage. There should be a linkage between poverty, alleviation, human rights. It should not be that one that will violate human rights. We should think of biodiversity. How are we going to, impact on the environment, and equally the natural resources that we are using? Like I said, should be the one that we should be accountable and be rational in the way we are using them. So, like I said, we are looking at the Agenda 2063, and we should be that type of program that we select should be a program that even if the funds are withdrawn, the project should be able to survive. There should be some survival. The program should be acceptable. The program should be adequate and equally allowable and satisfactory. It should not be that type of program that is born today and tomorrow we have no ashes of it again existing. So it should be that program that can stand the test of time and that can equally influence not just the developers of that program, but equally those who are attached to the program, either as employees, like we're already looking at employees, they can benefit, and the program should not render our environment uninhabitable. So we look into all of that. How can this program be accessible equally? It should be a program that should be accessible. The people, the way they present the program, there should be some accountability, because like one of our guests said, some people come just for the money. But you can always, when the jury sits, the jury can always read the minds and see what they have in mind, what the presenters have in mind. Are they just for money, or this their program was already something that they were developing and looking for somebody to give them that extra push, which Sompon is trying to put in place, or they are just coming without a well program something and they are just seeking money. And once they get the money, the next day the program disappears. They get instead to invest the money in things that does not go in line with the program, and we have problems with accountability at the long run. I think in a nutshell, that is what we look at: how this program can affect the environment, how it can affect the people who are around, and how it can stand the test of time if the funds are not there. I think that is some of the things we look at when we want to choose a program, a project that will be sponsored by the Sompon Startup Funds.
Thank you so very much, Elvis.
Thank you.
Messi, you're welcome. And Messi said that entrepreneur is equal to someone empowering others in the areas of expertise, helping them to create their own brand. And she also proceeded by saying that a self-employment needs a whole lot of discipline. That is very true, Messi. Thank you,
That's so
Mercy, for being
powerful.
with us today. You're welcome, and thank you for your contributions. We also recognize the presence of Yemli Linda. Thank you, who asked the question before. How reliable is Jai's auto? And that has been responded already. So I'm going back to you, Elvis. You have been a coach also to our young people. You have been in a jury, and my question, because today we are talking of sustainable business, and I have added my own words, a holistic approach of business. What would you say is a holistic approach in business? How should we view business, and what makes a business really sustainable?
If I go by the word holistic, which means whole, it means if you are getting into a particular business, you don't base on one aspect of the business, because maybe you look at step two, forgetting step one, and you end up failing. If I take the whole body, you want to specialize and you say, okay, I specialize on the head. What if the legs are not there? So you have to look at the business as a whole. You begin from the very step, like we had start big. There was this start small, begin small, and get big. I think that was one of our theme that we had last year. So we begin
Think
from
big,
the
start
very
small.
base, think big, and start small. Thank you. You begin from the very base, and before you get to the top part of the program, that's the line of business you want to study, you will discover that your progress and the profits that you even make are valuable, palpable, because you have looked at the business as a whole. You have not just jumped into a particular section of the business, and at the end of the day, you cannot even account for what you are doing. You do not even derive any satisfaction from what you are doing. So the business should be satisfactory, and satisfaction goes with how you handle the business, how you got into the business, how much you know about the business, and how you can manage and turn around the difficulties that you have around the business. That is how I look at holistic way of looking at business. In the look at the business as a whole, you don't just, let's take for instance somebody who is selling plantains. You don't even know where they get the plantains. You just jump at doing buy and sell them around. At the end of the day, you discover that you are just working for others. You take from others and sell. But if you get to the bush, some people get right to the forest, go even to the farms and buy, discover that you get some charges even that equally maximizes your profit at the end of the day. So holistic, if we go by the word, is a whole. Look at the business as a whole, and it's going to yield more dividend than just stepping inside and you don't master what is happening around.
Mm. Thank you so very much, Elvis. And my next question goes to Gatian. Gatian, you were the winner. You and Jill, you were the winners also last year. And we had other people that received a fund last year. My question is to you, Gatian. What do you think? Why does businesses, especially with young people, really? Why do they really have challenges in coming up with a sustainable business? And you were not the only one that we sponsored or that we funded. Some of them along the line, it got some kind of difficulties. What makes business difficult in Cameroon precisely?
Okay. First of all, I think people's things tend to be limited by their environment, so they don't look beyond their environment. When they create solutions, sometimes they limit them only to their context, like only to their immediate surrounding. Okay. They don't think global. They don't think uh, how this thing can, because to answer the question of the sustainability, you are supposed to think global. A sustainable business cannot just target a small quarter or a small portion of the community and be sustainable. No, you have to think of going global and reaching people wherever. So you have to bring in the diversity of people, where they are tribal, or their tribes, their beliefs, their religion, everything. You have to consider that, so you don't have some uh, criticisms, or you don't have problems along the way, because these people do not think that your product you are offering is okay, or that. And then also the another problem which really kills is the problem of accountability. So you see, most of the time people don't want to be honest, or to be very accountable. So that causes a problem. And in partnership, for people to really be partners, we have to be honest with each other, and they have to be accountable. And so most youths have not learned how to be very accountable and how to be honest with their partners, or whoever. And this creates a lot of problems for them when they seek partnerships, or when they want to do business with people, or in their ideas, or in their conceptions, or whatever they want to do. They feel like they should be it's their thing, so it's only based on them, and they have nothing to tell another person, or whatever. So I really think the main two things that hinder us are the environment. So we look only at our immediate environment before we and don't propose solutions that go beyond our environment, and also we don't want to be very honest and accountable, and those are the main things that really hinder us from progressing.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I would have want to ask the questions to our co-host now. Um, Now you hear the challenges that we are having, accountability and all that. What would you want to take into consideration this year, given the fact that we're going to be having, it's going to be a business online program, and we may not even have the possibility to really see the people, learn their character, and assess them. What do you think? How can we? How can you and your team um, learn from the mistakes of last year?
Thank you so much for that question. I think the last 2 years we have been paying or sponsoring the projects wholly, but this year, given the shortcomings we had due to accountability, responsibility, we want to think that when we will have the winners of this year, what we will do is that we will sponsor the program in how do I put it in we are going to give the money in parts. It means that we'll share the money maybe in 3 4 parts, and we will inject the money, you know, with time. You give us what you need within this time, and we are equally going to come around and see if the money is actually invested. And if we are satisfied, we are going to give the next part so that we follow the program closely. Because sometimes maybe some people are not used to handling much money. And when you give much money like that, it brings some madness, and they just get into things thinking that no, they are starting a business already, the business is going to yield. They forget that when you begin a business, it grows, it goes gradually till you get to the peak. So they think that since they already have much money, they get to invest it elsewhere. So this year we are going to give the money in different in quantities that will just suffice for what you have to do at a particular moment. So since you will have to come back to us to tell us that okay, money that was given for part one of the program is already realized, we too will come to the field, go through what you have done, and before we inject the same the following quarter of the amount that we have to give you. That is not what we intended. We always thought that we should give all the money at once so that you feel relaxed, you go through your program without any constraints. But since we have what we have, we will have to do what we can. They say that the hunters have learned to shoot without missing, so the birds too have learned to fly without perching.
Thank you so very much. Actually, I would have said that was your last word, but someone is having a question again for us. Jais
Okay.
Auto is an online business. Does this Sompon Masters startup funds also give aid to people with business plans that are not online? That was a question from Ayana Linda.
This is from
Thank you,
Ayende
Linda.
Linda.
Mhm.
Jais Otto, I want to think we answered some questions last year, last Sunday, sorry, where we're talking about the different types of businesses, and we said that some point startup funds is not limited to any status class of people. It's not limited to class of qualification. It's not limited to online. It means equally that we have farming projects that will very, very much be welcome. You have rearing products projects that will be welcome. We have even water projects that can be welcome. It means that we are looking at all the projects in a holistic. I come back to your word holistic. It means online as well as offline. Let me insist. Offline projects are equally very, very much welcome. Unfortunately, we have not had an offline program, let me call it that way, that has proven itself to be able to stand the test of time. So we are hoping actually that this year, given the difficulties even that we are going to have, we want to go an extra mile to put everything in place that we can equally have an offline program. Thank you, Madam Linda, for that question.
Thank you so much. We are almost coming to the end of our program. We said 1 hour. It's already 19:59. And so we are going to be taking the last word from our guests. If not, Do you have something to say, Elvis?
No, I wanted to get the guests or asking them how actually they have been surviving and coping, if not with human differences, how the business has been pulling up. Are there progresses? Are there some progress? Are there some things you will want to, confide again in us to get you through?
Okay, thank you. Of course, as every business, like I said, when we came to the master class, we were at the development phase of our business. So actually, we implemented our business after we received the funds. We have been, we have had hurdles, we have had difficulties, of course, but to be very candid, Madam Vega has always been there to support us through. And that's one thing I forgot to add about this program. It's not just an award that they give you and throw you away. So they are there to also guide you. There's follow up. There's still a WhatsApp group for those who attended last year. Even those who did not have make it in the program, they still ask for help. They still get free mentorship actually. So their money is not. They are still gaining from the award of last year. Yeah, like I was saying, we have hurdles, we have that, but it has been progress. No matter how slow the progress is, but it has been progress. We have been getting contacts and all that. There are some others that we have not been able to fulfill yet, but we are trying to sort all of that out. And also, client responses are also helping us to target the business better, because sometimes you sit in your house and you imagine all these things, you have these great ideas of how it's going to be, but in the field, it's a totally different thing. So you need to be able to learn fast from your clients, get their feedback, and adapt your business to their various challenges. So I'll add
Thanks
here
so
that
much.
if
Do you
anybody
have
wants
any
to contact
encouraging
me,
word for those who are listening, being the privileged winners of last year? Any encouraging word for those who are listening?
yeah, I think there is we have said everything here. Anybody who has been watching closely has understood exactly, and you have gone out to, like you say, you have leaked the exam. You have told them exactly what they need to do in order to get the startup fund. So the only thing I would do is to advise them to really head over to the website and register academy.somponssocialservice.org and register for the program, and then be themselves. Make sure they are honest. Don't try to hide yourself. Arrange their projects. What they learn into doing the master class, and make sure that they use it to pitch their projects. So they don't just they make sure that they actually implement what they have learned from the master class. That also, because that also shows how fast you are how capable you are to learn fast and make decisions and all that. So if
Thank
anybody
you
has any
so, so
question
much.
regarding us, they can contact us directly on our Facebook page or on our
JaisAuto.com,
website.
like you said. All right. Madam Sompon, I have a small question for you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we already said this year is going to be a special year. How do you think we are going to help the young Africans or young Cameroonians this year for their startup business? What are some of the things maybe they need to know?
I think it's important that every young person listening to me now understands that the intention behind our work is to support them, and we are looking for young people who are really willing to be the change makers. We're looking for young people who have gotten substance projects. We're looking for young people who say, "I have something. I want to do something. I want to change." My environment. I want to change myself, and I want to also change my environment. And we are ready, of course, to support such young people. That's why our program, the Masters Class, is in August. They should register for the program, because only those that register are going to have maybe the possibility to get the startup fund. We don't just want to throw the money to people. We want to have a network built together, and a network of millionaires, a network of young African millionaires that have been supported by us, backed by us. And because what the whole the whole idea is to be able to push the young person in Africa to believe in their abilities, to believe in our continent, and to know that they themselves are the government. So we want to help them stop this blame game and make them understand that they are the government and they should take responsibility for the community, for their families, and for their lives.
For those who are following us, our program actually begins 17 August to 22nd of August, and they are intended, or they have to register for our program, of course. And after registration, they equally have to attend our online Facebook line every live Sunday evening, every day, every Sunday. They have to participate. Actually, after registration, you need to participate in our August program. That will be an intensive 1 week program, and you can always ask your questions. If you have any doubts along the line, you can get to us along the program or even on our Facebook page. You drop your questions and your answers will be sent back to you. And not forgetting, when you register, you have to present to us or send to us a 2-minute video of a project, so that when you attend the classes, we equally be going through the project and seeing how we can pitch out any of the best program. I think this year is a special one, and we're actually going to have special projects this year to sponsor, Madame Vera.
I think so. So with this, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all my guests. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Gatian. Thank you, Evis, my co-host. Thank you, all our listeners, wherever you are listening from. I appreciate you taking your time. We have exceeded 6 minutes of your time. We apologize for that. And next week, center, we are meeting, and we will definitely not take your time again. Thank you for being here. And my name is Vera Sompon, the host of the program Business Conversation with Sompon TV. Thank you, Elvis.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
God bless you, and bye bye for now.
Bye bye.